All right, hello, and welcome to GCL News Podcast number 2. My name is PJ, and I'll be your host for the day. If you're new to the podcast, essentially, I go over gaming news, blockchain news, and any other news relating directly to GCL gaming that has happened within the week, and is posted on our YouTube and Buzzsprout every Monday. We're actually supposed to be doing this every Monday, but we've been having a few complications, so we'll be getting this one out as soon as possible, and then by next Monday we'll have our third one. Today I'm going to be going over, I guess, a lot of stuff. Going over mass shootings, Gamescom, FIFA Volta, Cardano, blockchain in games, Yet and, all that stuff. But yeah, thank you to everyone who tuned in last week. We got a record-breaking 31 views, I think, as of 2 days ago. We had 31 views and 1 like. I think that's pretty impressive, personally. If you did listen to it or watch it, really appreciate it. If you did enjoy or if you learned something, please like or comment and let us know what you learned, or if there's anything else you're confused about, because we would love to explain it to you. Now let's get to the news. So the first one that I decided to do was the one that was a little bit more on the touchy side. Political is the mass shootings. Again, I'd like to take a moment to give sympathy to those who lost their lives, as well as friends and family members' lives in the El Paso and Dayton shootings. It's like stuff like that is beyond words, and it's scary, kind of like how often that's becoming a thing. But anyways, the government is repeating something they've done in the past. They're using a scapegoat, and in this instance, they are blaming video games. In this instance, they are blaming video games for causing people to act violently, such as the shootings. Regardless of the fact that there is zero conclusive evidence for violent video games increasing violent behavior in people, it's easier to put that Band-Aid over the problem rather than stitch it up with action towards, a safer nation. Be that gun control or background checks or, whatever other solutions there may be. I don't want to talk about politics, essentially, but, whatever you believe in, I think that using video games as, like, the scapegoat is it's classic, and no one party, it's both parties, but Walt Disney ESPN has made the choice not to. I didn't know that Walt Disney owned ESPN.
Yeah.
That was something that was news to me. But anyways, they chose not to air a recent video game competition on their esports section of their channel due to the recent shootings and of politicians and Donald Trump himself saying that he thinks that, or violent video games are like maybe a cause.
Right.
They thought it best to delay the Apex Legends Invitational that was supposed to air on August 10th, which is the one I talked about in the last podcast. It had originally been scheduled to air on the main channel as well on both ABC and ESPN2, but is now being released the 10th only online, and then is being aired on ESPN2 in October. I think don't know. I think that it's ridiculous that they would even they're catering to the there's no conclusive evidence. What I mean, like there's no evidence that like video games do like cause like violent behavior in both adults and children. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, just overall, I think that it's very almost not incredible, but it's crazy to see the things that are coming out from very important people in our nation, and relating something of the magnitude of like a shooting, and in this case, 2 shootings, and connecting that to video games.
I think it's crazy. It's such a weird thing.
It's
to,
almost
specifically like go after.
It's almost irresponsible, like coming out of the mouth of our president. I mean, there's almost no filter to like what can and what can't be sent. Like social media has kind of allowed things to just like come out so naturally, and almost.
It's not like just like the right, like it's all of like a lot of politicians like on both sides are making the point about video games causing violence, which in the situation of a shooting, it's almost like disrespectful.
No, 100%.
Because like it's like they're just like throwing that out there like, oh, video games, and yeah, so this is something that I thought was cool. Andy Miller, who is the part owner of the Sacramento Kings, and he also owns NRG Esports, he commented and said, quote unquote, blaming video games is a look over there move instead of look at ourselves reflection. Our leaders are an embarrassment on gun control. Time for the video game generation to stand up and do something. So, end quote. Whether you believe in gun control or not, I think this is well said. An adult is literally telling gamers to rise up. So
Yeah, ironic. I mean, it's just
like, he's literally unironically saying gamers rise up. So
yeah,
gamers,
no, I think it's very well said and also well spoken, and I would
yeah,
agree.
like it's a look over there rather than look at ourselves.
Yeah, it is
reflection.
it is an embarrassment. Truly, as I said, it's crazy and irresponsible. So it'd be better, to just focus on what would actually diminish the chances of things like this happening, of this magnitude, which would be at this point, getting rid of guns in the hands
I'm
of
not
those
saying
people.
like specifically, like I'm not like I wouldn't say like gun control like that, like, and like no point being taken, you know what I mean. Like I think that it's just there are better things that they could be doing, like way better things they could be doing, rather than blaming video games, because and literally the next thing that I wrote down is Walmart is playing the same exact game, and it's understandable, like it's a sticky situation since the El Paso shooting was at a Walmart, but they made the decision to remove any displays of violent video games in their stores nationwide. So this includes posters, demos, and any auditory or visual representations of violent video games, which, I mean, I don't know. It's also noteworthy. So people got mad about this because it's like not. It's like not like they're not talking like, because Walmart is a big
Corporation.
sale of guns. Yeah,
And
no, well, like,
right.
they sell guns. They sell like
Right. No, and it's very interesting to see like after event from event that have happened, just in our nation. It's interesting to see the way that they're reacting to it, and instead of focusing on the real deal, which is the guns themselves, as I was just previously mentioning, instead.
Well, I want to refrain from taking any political stances here,
No, yeah,
because
right. Well,
we're not trying to push on any.
no, definitely not. But that is the argument that is, going on in the minds of the people. That instead, it's kind of just being they're just taking a shot at video games.
They're putting a band-aid over the problem.
Right.
But I
as
mean,
you said,
like,
right.
another thing is like they're also removing hunting videos in their sporting goods section. I guess like I don't know. It's hard for me to grasp. Maybe I'm not fully understanding what their point is, but it's like they claim that they're doing this out of respect for the victims of the shooting. But many people are outraged because they're not doing anything about their gun sales, prompting many to call for them to stop selling guns altogether. So they also claim this will not affect the sales of the games, only the showing of them. But it's a weird thing, in my opinion, that it's that important to take away like the actual like visual representation of violent games, as if that's what as if that's a trigger for violence, which. I don't know. I mean, I understand the respect thing for the victims of the shooting, because like I don't know.
Yeah, no,
but,
it's well said as well from the community.
Yeah.
I would side, with those thoughts as well, because it is as disrespectful as Trump using the video games as a scapegoat.
It's like people are mad because they're not doing anything about their gun sales, because like the fact that they sell guns, like they're one of the biggest like gun sales like in like the U.S. people like just like buy guns that like, and like they're used for violence, and
right.
And they're taking down like violent video game posters, like it's crazy. I don't know.
Yep.
Whatever. But one chart, this has been thrown around a good bit, done by Vox, from the Institute for Health and Metrics an evaluation, so very official. It shows that video game revenue per person placed next to violent gun deaths per 100,000 in 2017. So Japan has the highest video game revenue per person with $150 per person, but close to 0 gun deaths per 100,000. USA is a little over $100 for its video game revenue, but has about 4.5 violent gun deaths per 100,000 people. It's supposed to show that like people we're blaming video games yet.
Right, and that's the worst part.
In the country that has by far the most video game revenue per person, they have like no gun violence.
No, yeah, and the scariest part about it is that America is one of the first world countries to really take as a global power.
Getting a call. Okay, well I'm gonna keep going. So Gamescom in 2019. So again, like I want to get away from the because it's like political and it sucks that like it even happened in the first place. But whatever, scapegoat. Anyways, Gamescom 2019 is coming. So the scheduled dates are August 21st through the 24th of August. Why do I do this? Why do I write like that? The scheduled dates are August 21st through the 24th. The event is being held in Cologne, Germany, in an event center that I don't know how to pronounce. Colmes? I don't know. So basically, according to Gfinity, the Nintendo Switch Mini has been revealed as a Nintendo Switch Lite, and Nintendo is expected to give a more in-depth look at games such as Luigi's Mansion at games such as Luigi's Mansion 3, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and Astral Chain. Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening is the Breath of the Wild sequel, I believe. And
I haven't even heard of that game.
Astral Chain is.
That's interesting.
You don't know what Breath of the Wild is?
No, actually, I don't. I've never really played Zelda, so.
Yeah, it was just a huge like open world like Link game, I guess. So.
Damn.
I didn't play it either.
I love open world
I don't even
games.
know what,
I think they're really fun.
I don't know what the Nintendo Switch Mini is, or Nintendo Switch Lite. I think that's pretty interesting. Actually, I want a photo. Nintendo Switch Mini. Oh, it's like a handheld. Like remember like the PSP?
Yeah.
Like the PlayStation Portable.
Yep.
Portable.
Yep. One of those.
It's like that. That's literally what it's gonna be. That's cool.
Yeah, I used to have. Oh no, it doesn't look exactly. I was envisioning something else, but I had one of the ones that flipped open. They're really, really, really old ones. But yeah, that's awesome. Open world. I love open world games.
Yeah, for Legend of Zelda, that's a game I have to play.
Yep.
But
gonna have to try it one day.
Another thing that's happening at Gamescom is the demo of Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be showcased. And did you watch with Keanu Reeves? Did you see the trailer?
No, I actually have not.
You gotta watch it. It looks fantastic. It's like futuristic. Everyone's got like robotic what's the word? Like when you have like limbs robotic limbs.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Prosthetics. They have like robotic prosthetics and stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at some pictures right now.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
Looks awesome, yeah.
I'm hyped for it. So the demo, I guess, people will be able to play that there at Gamescom. Gear 5's Horde mode is going to be revealed. Did you ever play any of the Gear games?
No, I actually have not.
Gears of War?
I've been playing, mostly shooter games, and also sport games my whole entire life. There's certain ones that I've missed out because of that.
Gears is a gear.
Oh, I know exactly. I know exactly which
Gears
franchise.
Gear Wars.
I know which franchise
Gears of
it
War.
is, of course. But I've never gotten the chance.
I think
to
I
play
played
it.
the third one.
I'm sure they were good.
Or no,
I've
it was the
heard.
fourth
I've
one. It
heard
was
they're
the
one of the
fourth
best games. I mean.
Yeah, so that's a shooter game. It's a good game.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Luigi's.
So Horde mode, whatever that is being revealed. Big Ben Interactive, which is a games company, is showcasing a bunch of games. WRC 8, TT Isle of Man 2, Overpass, Bee Simulator, The Fisherman Fishing Planet, The Fisherman: The Fishing Planet, Paranoia, Happiness is Mandatory, Paranoia: Happiness is Mandatory, and Rugby 20.
What are these games you're listing out?
I don't know. It's Big Ben Interactives. That's the games that they're bringing to Gamescom, and I just really liked Bee Simulator and the Fisherman Fishing Planet.
Have you researched all of them?
No, I don't know what they are. I just like the I like the. If anyone knows Big Ben Interactive,
Interesting.
these are the games that they're going to be bringing out. Yeah, so
Cool.
I don't know. I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah,
Bee Simulator, Beam Simulator. I'm hyped for
I'm
that.
even more hyped to see how FIFA Volta handles the situation.
Uh huh.
So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. FIFA 20, very
Yeah.
anticipated.
So the game. Yeah. So the games that are being showcased for sure. Because there's speculated ones that people want to see, but the ones that they know is being showcased is Halo Infinite, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild sequel, which is the Link's Awakening, FIFA 20, Watch Dogs Legion, Marvel's Avengers, Cyberpunk 2077, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Gears 5, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order, which I don't know about that one either, but
I mean
I
that
love I used to love Star Wars games. Those are my
I
favorite.
think that Battlefield, not Battlefield. What am I saying? Battlefront.
Battlefront. Hmm.
Battlefront 1. You know, like the real OG video game right
Yeah,
there.
I
That
played
was
that. I
crazy.
played that
That was
on
so
my
much fun.
PSP.
That was you know, in my opinion, one of the just brings me nostalgia just like thinking about it, you know?
That was the game that like that was like the only game like I played
Right.
on the PSP.
Ex-
I had a few, but like that one was the best by far.
Yeah, I would agree.
It was a
100%.
fun game. But
Yeah.
yeah, so FIFA Volta is FIFA 20's newest update and is said to be released with absolutely no microtransactions, which is huge and I think suspicious for EA because you know EA loves doing that. They love
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
microtransactions and whatever.
Absolutely.
So they've been ridiculed in the past for their quote unquote pay to win style of loot crates and player systems. And among this backlash, they seem to have listened and have stated that anything you earn is through in-game challenges. So any like coins you get, or it can be purchased by Volta coins, which are earned through playing matches.
Yeah, I mean
So
it's
they're claiming that like these things that you can get, um, are you don't get them out of like the player packs, I guess, and a lot of it's like, aesthetic, like cosmetic stuff,
good.
to
I
like change the
That's
way
good.
like your team looks or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's awesome because that's just the way, you know, big gaming brands have been heading to avoid that issue. A lot of the battle royales, you know, have like non-skill based, um, like microtransactions, um,
Yeah, yeah,
and
and I think that's definitely the way to go
it's
with
a
that
hundred
stuff.
percent the way to go. And FIFA has been having that, you know, since their existence. They've been doing the microtransactions that um, they just end up taking a lot of money and making also the game unfair and just it just never felt organic almost like if they're able to really nail the FIFA Volta um you know just like the ecosystem it needs to work like people need to be able to truly feel like they don't have to put any money um and if they
Yeah,
I'm interested to see what you can buy with money. I'm guessing it's going to be, you know, probably like cosmetic items. In terms of like the player cards, I mean, it's just going to be interesting.
so
Um,
the thing is with FIFA is that they and I talked about this in the last one. It literally like is the it's actually like what makes money for EA, and it comes all from or most of it comes from the loot crates and like the player packs. So
yeah,
according to Forbes, 2016 the FIFA franchise accounted for nearly 40% of EA's revenue. So the company sold close to 15.5 million units, with each unit earning nearly $121.
damn,
This figure
that's
comes not only from the initial game sales, this is a quote, but also from services such as in-game purchases and the Ultimate Team feature. So it's literally 40% of EA Electronic Arts.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, 40%. I mean, it's crazy for sure. Yeah,
Well, I
and
as I've said before, I'm interested to see how they're going to handle the situation here, because
yeah, no, I agree too.
I mean, you know, it's just really getting in the heads of people. Yet, you know, it just seems like it always continues to happen.
It's like a gambling thing. It's like
Yeah,
it actually makes it's like legal gambling for like
teens.
young people. Yeah, for teens. Like
Teens and
it's
adults, bro, and adults.
yeah, of course.
The difference is that, you know, people certain people are able to like fund themselves, and other people are using other people's funds,
Yeah.
mostly their parents, which is
Yeah.
a cost on family. So
Kids,
yeah.
kids are
Yeah.
kids bring in
Yeah.
the revenue for sure. Kids if a
Definitely.
kid wants something, they won't stop. Like that's why so many companies like cater to children,
Yep.
because those kids are the ones that are gonna be like that's giving them like the most amount of money
Think
for
about
sure.
Fortnite. I mean, in itself,
Yeah.
it's like extremely catered.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
how many times I've heard the argument like it doesn't have blood, like yada yada yada. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's ridiculous how like the way like kids even use that as an argument to be able to be allowed to be like playing Fortnite.
Yeah,
It's kind of
and
ridiculous.
and it's like so smart because like the game is free, so anyone can play. But
Right.
you see all these things that you want to get, and like you're like, oh, like I'll just spend like $5, and then like it just like builds up, and then you're spending like $20, like and kids like spend so much money
So much money.
on like skins. Like I know people who like even our age have spent like hundreds of dollars on Fortnite
Yep.
because it's just like I don't know.
They
I
just
mean
like
now
it.
like I don't even play Fortnite anymore, but
Me neither, man.
still,
But
yeah, I mean, still,
I liked it back in the day, and then
yeah, me
it
too,
it
of
just
course.
it got for me personally just got a little old. The building.
I think it was like after season 3. I think was when it changed.
Yeah, I got to season 2, 3 as well, and
Hmm.
I haven't
I
touched
mean,
it in
I
months.
played for a little bit longer. I probably played up to season like 6, maybe season 5, because they're on season 10 now.
Yeah, no, it's I'm actually excited to see how they inspire other video games to continuously bring new things into their video game. Um, but hopefully they can also learn from like the community that plays that game to listen to them and not like put controversial thing while keeping it fresh, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Apex Legends, for example, just released their new um event and new
What
like
the invitational?
no, they have like the no, not that event, the solo mode, and they like
Oh
added.
yeah, 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 yeah. That came out like today.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
solo mode. Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you played any?
Mhm. I won.
Yeah. Really, you won one?
Mhm.
It's hard.
It was
I still like
it was
I
fun
still
though.
like trios. Yeah, no, it's fun. I still like trios. I think the best.
Yeah.
But yeah. So all right. So yeah, onto the blockchain news.
Let's do it.
Amazon is on the search for a software development engineer to aid them in the creation of an Amazon advertising blockchain. So they recently posted a job offer on LinkedIn with the description, quote, "Our new team in Boulder, Colorado is looking for SR software." I don't know what SR is. Is looking for SR software engineer to work within our advertising fintech team, focused on a blockchain ledger, billing, and reconciliation systems to provide data transparency on transnational financial data. And I think this is exciting news for the blockchain community because it's like another step forward for blockchain adoption by the major retailer. Um,
Yeah. It's good.
it's normal. It's normalization.
It
If like
yeah.
the more it's normalized, like the better.
Yeah, and like people 2 years ago, now that we're speaking about blockchain technology
Mm-hmm.
related matters, it's just or matter, sorry.
Yeah.
It's good to see how the mindset has moved from 2 years ago. This technology is nothing. It's going nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And relating it to like
It's like being like
money,
totally underground to like
exactly, and just
companies.
relating it to money and Bitcoin very specifically on just
Mm-hmm.
like paying attention to its price and just like trying to get in, fear of missing out, whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
now it's moving to like its actual, the actual stages where it should be getting to, which is, blockchain adoption, which is going to have to be a very careful and, thorough process, to figure out what works and also what
Yeah.
doesn't. And it's
It's gonna
incredible.
be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of like a lot of testing.
Yeah, just think about Amazon. Like Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world
Mm-hmm.
right now, and it
Yeah.
has been for quite a little bit. And in 1990, I don't know when Amazon started, but it was in the before
Mm-hmm.
the 2000s, for sure. And
I'm
it's
finding out right
incredible.
now.
It's incredible to see how
1994.
Yeah, exactly. It's incredible to see how this company is beginning the entryway into that adoption. And they're not alone, most definitely. But I mean, of this magnitude of trying to do things right, which is what Amazon has been doing. To be one of the biggest companies in the world, you have to provide the consumer um, with happiness, and also they have to really
Happiness.
exactly, they have to enjoy the service. So, in my opinion, blockchain technology can actually really offer that. And
Yeah, I mean, I think that like companies are gonna start testing it out, and
yeah,
soon, like once it gets like fully adopted, like every company is gonna hop on it because like it says, like they're looking to provide data transparency, on like financial data, and it's like it makes it like safer, like people like your data will be safer,
well,
like if it's like involved in the blockchain.
let me stop you in your tracks right there, because it's not that
Mm.
every company is gonna want to use this technology there, because it's not like every company has its use case where they can actually implement those things, the
Mm-hmm.
blockchain, because let me tell you, it's a pretty expensive process, and it also
Yeah.
kind of depends on, like, the blockchain is meant to do something that you want it to do, so there's certain projects that require like much greater magnitude of work and also expenses, and other ones require much less. So it's more of like finding the right cases for this technology to be used that
Mm-hmm.
companies should be really, really focusing on, and if it really needs to be there, and what's it getting rid of, and what's it solving. So that's
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm very happy about, because um, in terms of Amazon, I personally believe that it's looking good in terms of what they're heading towards.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and I like it. I like it because it spreads the news well
Yeah, definitely.
for
So
blockchain.
moving on to Cardano, according to AMB Crypto, IOHK's Charles Hoskinson, who is the co-founder of Cardano, I think. He hosted
Yes.
yeah, I think so. He hosted an AMA session on YouTube where the entrepreneur spoke about Cardano's much-awaited update releases. So he began by assuring his viewers about the completion of the Shelley era by 2020 as planned. So, according to the Cardano website, if you know what this is, the Shelley era encompasses the critical early. This is a quote too. The Shelley era encompasses the critical early steps in Cardano's journey to optimize decentralization, and like any first steps, these will be gradual but significant. So, during the Byron era, Byron, the network is federated. But as the Shelley era progresses, more and more nodes will shift towards being run by the Cardano community. Once the majority of nodes are run by network participants, Cardano will be more decentralized and enjoy greater security and robustness as a result. So essentially, the plan is to make Cardano as decentralized as possible in their 5 era development plan, and by the end of the Shelley era, they expect for them to be, quote, 50 to 100 times more decentralized than other large blockchain networks. I think that's awesome, and they're doing a in 5 separate eras. I didn't even know that was like a plan, and that they were still working, like
Pursuing.
working to get it as like decentralized, I guess, as much as they can. But
Oh,
it makes sense.
oh yeah, most definitely. It's good though, because Cardano is always ensuring peer review
Mm-hmm.
and scholarly articles, and like the whole company with its, sorry, like three, it's kind of like an umbrella company where they have Cardano, IOHK,
Mm-hmm.
Emergo. They have all these things working to ensure that things get done well. So it's truly incredible to see what they're going to be able to come up with in the next 5 years, which is basically where you know blockchain is really going to start um, being done correctly. Like, the people are going to be able to start using um, very good use cases
Mm-hmm.
um, for their software, because that's the struggle. The struggle is ensuring good software on top of the blockchain, because without one or the other, because the blockchain is the more reliable part. It's just like what software is used to build on that. And I believe, and a lot of scholars also believe that it's an important process to have to go through, and a timely one. And it's truly fascinating to see where they're gonna go. I mean, it's great. Yeah.
No, it's good to hear that they're still like working like hard on Cardano.
Oh,
Like there's
not going anywhere.
yeah, exactly. And that's gonna be the future. And like GCL is run on Cardano.
Yeah.
That's like the base. That's our base.
Yeah. No, and it is because we want to use something that is peer reviewed, scholarly reviewed, has articles upon articles and articles and articles. I mean, you could literally professionalize on studying this, like, company. It's just truly, it's, as I've just said, it's fascinating, and that's why we decided to use this to develop our software on top of their blockchain coding, programming, and that's why
They're reliable.
exactly. It's about trust. It's about transparency, and it's about reliability, and that's exactly related to what we want for the video gaming community through GCL.
Yeah.
By providing them with, monetary value, within our ecosystem, and also for their real lives, because through a digital asset they're able to get things that wouldn't be possible otherwise as of before GCL's creation, which is coming soon.
Yeah, it is. It's coming real soon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're all looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the blockchain continues to grow in popularity and become more and more normalized, video game companies are looking to find ways in which they can integrate the blockchain. So this I didn't know either. So Ubisoft, French company, French game company, they've been on this since 2018. So they recently announced that they will be integrating a blockchain system into their games. But in February of 2018, in order to test the waters in blockchain and gaming combined technology, they announced the introduction of the game Hashcraft in the company's Strategic Innovation Lab. So they explained that, the quote, the mission of the lab is to explore social, technical, and business trends that will shape the future of entertainment. So on this basis, we are trying to help Ubisoft to be prepared for these changes. We strongly believe that blockchain is a huge thing, something that will change the gaming industry. End quote. And I think that's put like perfectly. I think that like the games have definitely been like software like technology like is advanced because of games, because so much money and effort goes into making games more realistic, putting more more advancement on like technology in games, and it pushes it pushes it forward. It pushes technology forward, and for them to believe that blockchain is going to be the same thing. Blockchain is going to be something that when like introduced to games, like they're going to like grow together. I think that's perfect, because it's also exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. That's I mean, there was a quote, this one right here, the Blockchain Game Alliance one that you just mentioned, and there's also another one which I forget of where I read, but it said basically that video games are going to be one of the major things pushing blockchain, and the market is going to be very very incredible in terms of its growth with this technology, and yeah, I mean, GCL is just going to be one of the first, and it's actually not the first, excuse me. There's been multiple video gaming related and blockchain related things, but
yeah, totally.
it's one of the biggest
it's
ones,
new in
for
regards
sure.
in regards to how blockchain is going to be in the future, because
Right.
like and again, like blockchain itself is new. Like, well, it's not new, but more like the
It's a decade old, and that's fairly new.
yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's I mean, the internet took around 20 years to actually, gain enough traction to become worldwide and spread.
And
And
now it's like everything.
and now it's literally everything. Right.
Yeah. So going back to Ubisoft, according to Cointelegraph, in the fall of 2018, Ubisoft took another step closer to the blockchain industry by becoming a member of the Blockchain Game Alliance, which promotes a universal standard in the blockchain gaming space. I didn't even know that was a thing, but like that's also like it's great to know that like it's becoming more and more, like seen together is blockchain and games, which is like the perfect way. Like that's exactly like the direction that it should be going.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Most
I think it's
definitely.
awesome. And for this final piece, it's not exactly news, but I loved this quote. Like this was awesome. So yet I would hate to pronounce it wrong, but yet Siu, I really don't know. But the co-founder and chairman of Animoca Brands of Hong Kong, um, essentially he provided the first internet company to Hong Kong in 1995. He explains, so right now I look at the state of blockchain very similar to internet in 96 and 97. And so I think at this point, but much like internet in 96 and 97, blockchain is a word you've heard. It's something you know. Everyone's talking about it in the context of the future, but they might not quite get it. So the awareness is there. We think the time is ripe, essentially, for blockchain in the next 18 to 24 months to start really showing its big utility cases and sort of create that mass adoption.
Yeah.
So
Very
it's like
literally
it's
well
related
said.
to internet, and like
Yeah.
internet like literally was world changing.
And this is
It
coming.
changed society forever.
This is coming from
And
someone who is in this was in this
yeah,
industry from
exactly.
you
Yeah.
know
He's seeing the same exact thing with internet happen
right.
with blockchain.
Yeah, and that's something that has been discussed with people who actually do have knowledge about the technology, at least to a certain level of comprehension, and
Hmm.
being able to be fluid in conversation. Really, when you surround yourself with people who also have similar mindsets, um, and want to research this technology, you do come to figure, after some time, but not much time, that where basically where the technology fits and where it doesn't, and that it won't solve everything at the same exact time, but
Hmm.
it's like, just like Yat Su said,
Yet you.
yeah, it's
Uh,
it's it's about the use cases, and that's something I was just mentioning previously, and it's one of the most important things that needs to happen is the professionalism in creating these companies, this software, and connecting it to the blockchain. It needs to be a good use case. It needs to be strong. It needs to be
hmm.
built to last,
Yeah.
um, and it needs to
I mean, I think it
it need
will. I mean, I think it's
yeah,
going to keep growing.
exactly. and
Sorry, my
and
computer keeps breaking.
and many will
Splat.
actually fail. Many blockchain
Yeah, absolutely.
companies are gonna hit those roadblocks, because of not doing things right. But from failure we learn.
Hmm.
So that's a good thing. It's like the more time, the more presence of the blockchain industry in our globe, the better towards um, global adoption.
Yeah.
The
So
more, yeah.
I'm looking right now. The internet was created, the first like internet kind of thing, like the first network, I guess, was in 1983. And when you think about it, like that wasn't that long ago at all.
I mean,
Like 1983, like that was like 40 years ago.
yeah, it's it's crazy
Like
because,
our parents were born
well,
way before internet was like even a thing.
oh,
You know,
yes, they were,
it's crazy. I
prob
mean, it feels like something that's always been around.
yeah, it came out with 1844, the telegraph cables,
Hmm.
created by Samuel Morse, and then 1876, the first telephone was created by Alexander
Do you
Bell.
do you know this? Like, do you know this? Like, are you looking this up, or do you know this like on the
No,
top of your
no,
head?
I know this off the top of my head.
Okay, okay, yeah,
1894, the radio was created,
okay.
by Marconi, and then ARPANET in 1960, 69. I forget who the founders of that was or were. Sorry, I
Wait,
think
what happened in 1969?
ARPANET, and then there
Oh,
was, I
okay.
think there was two, anyway, in 1979, the internet was created by Vint Cerf. And yeah, the Web 2.0 kind of came in 2004 with Tim O'Reilly. And that's when shit really hit the fan. So 2004, I mean, I was born in 98.
Yeah.
So, like our childhood, we were able to actually grasp
We
a
are like the
beginning.
internet babies.
I mean, technically, like for certain people, yes, but for other people, no. When you're coming close to like 2000s, into the 2000s, from like the 80s, basically. So yes, the internet was created before we were born, but the Web 2.0 is what actually really brought it all
What we
together.
see as internet
Right,
today,
because
like
it
is
took
Web
so much
2.0.
time to create
Mm-hmm.
the back layer that none of us really get to see other
Know
than the
about, yeah,
professionals, right?
yeah.
And that's exactly what needs to happen with the technology that we're speaking about today, which is
Yeah, like blockchain
blockchain.
is going to become like a it's expected to become like a household thing.
Exactly, and just like Yatsu said, nobody really I mean, not nobody, excuse me. A lot of people don't really understand what's going on, but they've
Mm-hmm.
heard at least of Bitcoin, at least of
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
blockchain.
Yeah.
It's
Like
like
everyone knows Bitcoin,
everyone knows about Bitcoin. That's right.
but like no one like and like you said like a few years ago people were like, "Oh, like that's like it's like fool's gold. Like it's not real, you know."
Yeah,
Like people were
exactly.
just like, "No, like there's no value to it." Like
Yeah,
but it's like quickly becoming,
yeah. And I mean, if you just want
huge.
last example here, I
Mhm.
think it would be the Winklevoss brothers. I hope I
Mhm.
pronounced that correctly.
I
Um,
Winklevoss?
yeah, they're thank
I
you.
don't know.
They're actually in the top 10 of largest Bitcoin holders in the world. I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible. Like, just think about the smartness involved in just like that partnership, that
Yeah.
brotherhood, and having them be an example of people who invested in that so early on because they
Mhm.
saw its potential and they
They
saw
knew exactly where it was going to go.
exactly, and they just
Mhm.
understood um, where it was going to go. So
Yeah.
what they saw was like what most people who learned about blockchain and actually understood it early on were able to see was there's a plain field, like a blank canvas almost, and with the introduction of Bitcoin, that's like the first good use case. They understand all the like the potential of the technology, but nothing has been built. Nothing has been
Mhm.
built, and when once that
Yeah.
hit
It's
mass
it's like the
adoption,
foundation is there.
yeah, once Bitcoin hit, mass global awareness, sorry, I believe that, it just kind of spiraled out of control and became the
Mhm.
wild, wild west. I mean, in terms of scams, in terms of people not knowing what the hell they should be
Yeah.
doing within
Not
this
knowing
space.
how to like work it.
Exactly.
They,
And
it's like people didn't know how to navigate it.
yeah, and that
Navigate like
that
the potential like of blockchain, I guess.
yes, exactly. And that negatively impacts the way people think of
Mhm.
blockchain because of news
Yeah.
coverage, because of the perspective that is placed by the media um, on the views, and on, like, just it's a bad perspective to show when you talk about scams and people losing money and this and this and this, instead of
Mhm.
talking about the potential, the true use cases, its benefits, the efficiency that it can bring to various industries. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's incredible to watch it go into video games. Well,
People, yeah, no, definitely. And people fear what they don't understand.
yeah,
And that's something big that we're seeing with the blockchain especially. Is that like people like it's not normal for them. Like,
yep,
they're not used to something that new. And it makes them scared, but like soon like it's expected to be everything.
yeah. I
Like
mean,
cryptocurrency,
I
like,
wouldn't say be everything, but it's
well,
expected
you
to
know what I
play a
mean. Like
major role, a
it would
major role.
yeah, like, but like internet, as you say, like internet is
Oh
like
yeah,
it's
in
massive, and like for
long term, it is going to change our the way we see life, and we live
yeah,
it.
everything. I mean,
Yeah,
it already has, and it's been 40 years, and it's been what, 15
Oh,
years since
the
Web
internet,
2.0.
the yeah, exactly. Speaking in those terms, yes, 100%. It's just fascinating. It's
Yeah, for
right,
15 years, like for
right.
the world to have changed that much
Yep,
just by the introduction of internet as we see today is incredible.
yep. And you know, I'm very interested to see how the globe handles the good news once it does come. Like
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We can only wait and see now.
exactly. So, I guess in that case, we can end the podcast.
Yeah, we're
Um,
gonna end it there.
yes.
Um, good talks.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, I mean,
Thanks for
yeah,
having me,
but
PJ.
yeah, of course. So all right, that's gonna be it for podcast number 2. That was Miles. He's one of my coworkers here at GCL Gaming, and yeah, I forgot to introduce him. But thank you for listening. If you did, if you have any questions, please let us know in the comments. We will answer them next time we record, basically. And if I was going to do comments, comment recognition this time, but we're going through rebranding at the moment, so that'll have to wait until next podcast. But yeah, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed, comment, leave a like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram to stay updated, and yeah, you beautiful people have a great day.